Hello. I'm not at all sure how this is going to go, but we'll give it a shot. I'm Karen Shields, and we're going to pick up in probably what would be sort of the middle of a first class meeting of a college success skills class. We've already talked a little bit about change, we've introduced ourselves, we've done some things like that. And we'll pick it up with the first major point in the textbook, which is college is a big change. Success is about choices, sacrifices, and change. The point that we've been discussing here is that you are in charge of that change. Today, your very first day of college can, if you choose, be the beginning of a whole new life for yourself. You can set whole new goals, have a whole new vision of what you'll become. But the decision to do this is solely in your hands. So what motivates you to change? Well, it will say this in our textbook. Generally, what motivates people to change is called the M&M theory. I like the name of this because I think it works particularly well for people who grew up in southern Louisiana. Because the M&M theory, the things that motivate you to change are generally your mama and your money. Your mama, not literally your mama, but your family. How many of you are attending college because you want to provide a better life for your family, for your children, for your parents? Good, a lot of you. Well, a lot of people do that. How many of you are in college because you want to better your career, have a financial future for yourself? Now see, everybody's hand goes up on that one. It always does. So you see, you know it to be true. The things that motivate you most are going to be things that are tied to your mama and your money. So in college, you're in charge. You know, one of the big differences for those of you who are coming straight out of high school, and we're going to talk about this more in chapter 2 when we talk in more detail about motivation, but one of the big changes from high school to college is that you're not going to have people pressuring you so much. You may have come from a situation where somebody made sure you got up every morning. Somebody made sure you got to school on time. And when you got to school, if your teachers found that you were falling behind or failing, they somehow let you know by having you stay after class, calling your folks, doing whatever it took to keep you on track. Some of you may have coaches that did much of the same thing. Well, the point is, in college, a lot of this is going to change. You're in charge. And this has some tremendous positives to it. And it also has some negatives to it. You have to figure out a way of balancing your new freedoms and your new responsibilities. Think of the way a seesaw goes. Right? Something like that. Now, I'm not a very good artist, but you got two people, and as long as you balance the freedom with your responsibilities, you keep on track. Nobody slams to the ground. But if you go too far out on either end and you get out of balance, that's when the problem happens. So, now that you're in college, you're going to negotiate new expectations, new relationships with those around you. You're going to say, I'm in college, I'm in charge, and that's great. So on any given evening, you can choose. Are you going to go out with your friends? Are you going to go to the movies? Are you going to play video games all night or watch TV? Or you can choose to say no to all of that. I'm only going to buckle down. I'm only going to study. I'm not going to see my friends. I'm going to work. Either one of those in the extreme is not good. You're getting yourself out of whack. The idea, and we will be talking a lot about this, particularly in the first few chapters, the first few weeks of class. We're going to be talking about how to change your attitudes, your skills, and your life. So first we're going to focus on those things that will tend to change your attitude. Things like this, things like looking at your motivation, things like looking at how to balance your freedom and your responsibilities. Things about how to manage your time. I think there's probably no more critical skill for college students to manage than to learn how to manage your time. And learning how to manage your time is going to help you learn to manage your workload in all your college courses. It's going to help you to manage your life. How many of you work? How many of you work, let's see, more than 15 hours a week? How many of you work more than 20 hours a week? Anybody work more than 30 hours a week? Okay, so this is going to be a challenge for you. How are you going to keep all the balls in the air? How are you going to manage your workload in all your other classes, your job responsibilities, and many of you have family responsibilities. So that's what these first couple of weeks are going to be about. The next point is, higher education is a two-way street. What do you think that means? Well, it means exactly, you are going to get out of it what you put into it. You can put in the minimum amount of time, you can skate, you can get by, and what are you going to get? You're going to get a lesser education. You may pass, you may not pass, but you are not taking advantage of all the things that college has to offer you. College has a tremendous amount to offer you, both in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And by the way, you're paying the same whether you take advantage of all of it or none of it. So you can pay the same amount of money and get basically a second-rate education by just trying to coast along, do what you have to do, saying, oh, yeah, see, yeah, it's okay, whatever. Or, for the same amount of money, you can really strive to get ahead and excel, do well in your studies, and particularly those of you who are either looking at things like financial aid, scholarships, transferring to four-year institutions. How many of you think you would like to go on for beyond the bachelor's